Welcome to season 2! On today's episode, What am I gonna do? Oh, on today's episode, I'm talking about the consumption of aborted fetuses. Join me for the ride as I explain the dark depths of eating the world's wildest meat. Anyway, first off, I want to give you an update on what I did this weekend. I went to Bameng, which is a very, very remote region of Inner Mongolia, to help my friend advertise for his restaurant. Now, when I got down there, we drove through the countryside of Inner Mongolia. It was beautiful, 150, 200 kilometers of gorgeous mountains and poverty. And by the time I got there, my chain was rattling, so I went to go get that fixed. And I went to a bunch of local mechanics who couldn't do anything about it. They actually, a couple of them broke a couple of their tools because they could not work on a big bike like mine. They had no stands put on or anything. So anyway, found this place that had big bikes and made friends with a bunch of guys. I instantly became famous because I'm white, but also because I had a very cool bike. 1200cc was the biggest one there, as opposed to all their little piddly CB400s. But anyway, there was actually a guy with a Ninja 600 there, which is pretty cool. But anyway, they fixed it right up, didn't charge me a dime, and went to go find me at my buddy's restaurant. But by that point, when they were going to go ride, I had already had a few beers, didn't have any will to go kill myself out on the national road, drunk driving style. So I ended up staying there and drank some beers on the porch of the restaurant with my buddies. And this guy in a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado pulled up, and he was interested in my bike. So he started chatting with me, chatting with my buddies, and he said, you know what? You know, this guy, my friend Lawrence, he's from my hometown, and I'd like to take you guys out for a nice evening. So we said, yeah, we'd be much obliged. So we headed out with him in his car, and he took us to a KTV that was 7,000 yuan per night, or per session, I should say. We drank 96 beers, each of which was 40 yuan. And when we came in there, about 10 geishas lined up. Can I say geisha? 10 service girls lined up, very beautiful and young, and bowed to us. And we were then forced to choose one that would serve us for the rest of the night. I shouldn't say rest of the night. That's not what I mean. They were not prostitutes. They were service girls. Pouring drinks, lighting cigarettes, taking you to the bathroom, clapping after you sang a song. That kind of deal. Anyway, had a great time there, and it was fantastic, and I felt like PIMP. And after that, we headed out, and he took us in the countryside. We ate some delicious food on a farm, awesome lamb, and a bunch of vegetables that were grown there. And we found out this dude was actually the boss of all the Caterpillar equipment that's used to dig all the rare earths out of Ardos, one of the richest areas of China. So he is a multi-millionaire, and he is going to take us out for another good time when we get back to Baotou, and we can go hang out in his town. So anyway, all in all, it was a fantastic time, but it wasn't quite so fantastic on the way back because one of my friends on the highway decided to drive on the highway with a bike, CB400, CB1, that is not allowed on the highway, and it didn't have registration, and it didn't have license plates, and he didn't have a driver's license. So he ended up getting himself into a high-speed police chase, going 190 kilometers an hour. Unfortunately, his bike decided to conk out, and he stopped on the side of the highway, and the cops took his bike and took him into the police station. We had to talk the cops into letting him go home. They kept the bike, but next week we're going to go back because we found some friends that know the police chief, and we're going to bribe them 1,000 kwai, 150 bucks, to get his lovely CB400 back. But anyway, all in all, it was a fantastic time, and it was a very memorable experience. There's a saying in Guangdong that Guangdong people in the south of China, the Cantonese people, will eat anything with wings or anything that flies except an airplane, anything with 4 legs except a table, and anything with 2 legs except a person. One of the first girls I dated taught me that little quote, and she said that actually that's not true because Cantonese people, Guangdong people, actually do eat people. And I said, what are you talking about? She reiterated, I have eaten people, human flesh before. And I said, in what way? She told me that in Guangdong, there are places like abortion clinics slash places where you can go to get an abortion, like a local hospital, where you can buy an aborted fetus inside of a placenta. In Chinese medicine, placenta, human placenta, consumption of it is considered good for you. I think it's also in some other countries as well. But as an added bonus in China, they've came to the conclusion that if you eat the placenta with the aborted fetus inside of it, it's even better. The small ones are about 500 yuan. The bigger ones can be up towards 3,000 yuan. You can get up to like 7-8 months type deal. But anyway, when she told me this, I said, "What? What? You kissed me with that, Mom? You kissed me with that, Mom?" That's what I said. And actually, I didn't want to talk to her after that for a while. I was thoroughly appalled. It was horrible. I can't believe that people would eat human flesh, aborted or not, you know. But the Chinese mentality, not in the big parts of China, but at least in Guangdong, is that it's just meat. So don't waste it. You know? It's meat. Her doctor said that she was going to die at age 4, so that the recommended thing to do would be to eat aborted fetuses to like improve her youth or something. Anyway, this brings me to a point on China, so-called China experts, people that come to China and stay in Beijing or Shanghai or Guangzhou or a place like this, and they consider themselves an expert on China. They speak Chinese, they talk to Chinese people, right? And then they go back home and dispel all these myths that they have about China. There was something on Snopes.com that like there was some guy, some artist that like made an exhibit about eating like dead babies or something. And because of that, because it was an art show, they've dispelled the myth that Chinese people eat aborted fetuses. I've posted on Reddit, I've gotten flamed on basically every online community because people are in the West go, "No, Chinese people don't do that. That's such a racist thing to say. People, they wouldn't eat aborted fetuses." How much do you wanna bet? Shut your mouth, come over here and have a look. Because guess what? Doing my own research, maybe I was a bit skeptical of my girlfriend at the time, but I asked more than 100 people in Guangdong. Everybody knew about it, and about half of them had done it before. It is normal, it's considered normal, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. A lot of people don't do it, but a lot of people have done it. And, you know, they come in different sizes, they cut it up, they cook it in a Guangdong style soup. There's preparation methods online in Chinese, you can find all this kind of stuff. So please, before you run your mouth about how much you know about China, go around and talk to people.